of civilians in Gaza won't defeat the armed insurgency. As Israel excels in massacring civilians and destroying Gaza's infrastructure, its ground offensive against Hamas is becoming a quagmire. Confronted with an endless list of well-documented Israeli war crimes, the Biden administration has responded with overwhelming support for a genocidal war of annihilation against the Palestinians of Gaza. For more than 2 months, the White House has engaged in a public campaign of gaslighting as it has feigned concern over the fate of Gaza's 2.3 million residents while simultaneously maintaining the flow of weapons, intelligence, and political cover to an Israeli regime that has made clear its intent to flatten Gaza and force its intentionally dehumanized survivors into an ever-shrinking killing cage. 10 weeks into this industrial-scale rampage, more than 25,000 Palestinians are dead, including nearly 10,000 children. 24 hospitals have been attacked by the US-backed Israeli forces and some 300 health workers opens in a new tab have been killed. Nearly 100 journalists have died under Israel's bombs and attacks. Not even the Catholic Church in Gaza has been spared from Israel's war crimes. On December 16, according to the Latin Patriarchate of Jerusalem, Israeli snipers shot dead opens in a new tab 2 Christian women taking shelter in the Holy Family Church in Gaza, spurring Pope Francis to state bluntly opens in a new tab that Israel is committing acts of terrorism. Both Biden and Netanyahu know what they dare not say in public. On a military level, things are not going well. Israel, a nuclear-armed nation-state with modern weapons systems and intelligence capabilities and fully backed by the most powerful nation on earth, is desperately struggling to achieve a meaningful tactical victory over the armed Palestinian guerrilla forces in Gaza. Despite the vast resources Israel has dedicated to its propaganda effort, it is also flailing in its effort to defeat Hamas on that front. On a daily, sometimes hourly, basis, the Qassam brigades, Hamas's military wing, and their allies in arms release videos showing successful attacks on Israeli armored vehicles and troop positions. The short films offer a glimpse into another side of this war, the one that Israel and the US do not want the public to see. And the picture that emerges stands in stark contrast to the official Israeli narrative. Fighters from Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad are engaged in urban combat and close-quarters firefights with Israeli forces, and they are inflicting heavy losses on them. They have also published a close-up video opens in a new tab of Israeli soldiers in a makeshift tent camp inside Gaza that Hamas fighters filmed by discreetly popping up from tunnel hatches. The spokesperson for the Qassam brigades, known by his nom de guerre Abu Obaida, has regularly released audio messages outlining his assessment of the ground war and challenging Israeli narratives. The whole world sees how our fighters destroy and burn the enemy's armored vehicles, killing the invading soldiers inside them, he said opens in a new tab in a recording released December 15. There is no doubt that both Washington and Tel Aviv underestimated the military capacity of the Hamas-led armed resistance. It is one thing to snatch Palestinians off the streets of the West Bank and disappear them into a military court system, a practice Israel has perfected over the decades. It is quite another to defeat a well-armed insurgency that has spent decades building vast underground infrastructure beneath its own territory and training for this very moment. The idea that armed resistance will be extinguished by killing Hamas leaders betrays the same pattern of wishful thinking that has permeated U.S. strategic thinking since 9/11. Biden made his choice, and has continued to double down on it in the face of every fresh horror that has unfolded in Gaza. Whatever tale of victory he and Netanyahu want to spin when the intense period of wanton death and destruction winds down, Biden should never be permitted to escape the cold fact that he served as the arms dealer and most consequential public propagandist for a war of choice against an overwhelmingly defenseless civilian population. The responsibility for the blowback that will inevitably sprout from the killing fields of Gaza should be firmly affixed to Biden's legacy.